Damn. What's going on? Listening to some Weed Eater. If you've not heard of Weed Eater before, you ought to. You ought to, man. Chilling out today. We're going to listen to some Doom. We're going to hang out. We are going to, I've got a different selection of pickups in the Iceman here, a different tuning as well. And I'm looking forward to making some awful sounds for y'all today. Y'all. And we're going to go to, I don't know what we're going to do here. I don't know. Do we go with our normal, our usual business? It's hard to trust that I'm not going to get nuked for some random ass song, but it looks like this should be fine. Let's see what happens, I guess. This is a great song. Neat riff. What's going on, everybody? How are you? Johnny Cecil, Pedro, if you're in the chat, let me know. Holler at me. And sorry, I was just talking pickups. I'm on live. I'll tell you there. Time for horrible sounds. All right, fellas. Sorry. I like to let the team know that we're on and spicy. And the Iceman is back, and the Iceman now has a new neck pickup. The new neck pickup for the Iceman for the moment is a rail hammer anvil, which is a bridge pickup with some kind of a bit of beef. What I just sent an email to Railhammer to see if I could get a chisel instead. But for now, just for the life of these strings, this will be what's what. And I've got a significantly lighter set of strings on it, so it can get a bit more doomy, as Doom is sort of known to feature, like, they don't use the tightest strings in Doom. They typically use, like, they like some slack over there. All right. I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys are as well. It's Saturday. And we're going to go over a few different Doomy rigs that I like to make here at home. And you guys can tell me which of them is the wiener. First, we have the Benson Chimera suite from Mixwave. This was one of their first suites, and it's awesome. Inside, you have the Benson. By the way, if you buy the Benson collection, you get all of these, and you can use them separately, which is rad. The Benson Germanium Boost is superb. The Germanium Fuzz is also superb. The Benson preamp is kind of like a legendary low-key, like cult following circles, kind of like a legendary deal. I have the Tallbird Reverb, which also, as mentioned, all these comes, and you can use them all separate with this collection. So the collection seems a bit pricey on the surface, but the reason is they give you the versatility and they give you these other standalone plugins, which I think a bunch of companies should follow suit and do. I honestly feel Neural DSP would be making way more money if they were selling some of their, if every time Neural DSP came out with an archetype, if they, for example, took the feature effect of that archetype, you know how each one of them has that feature effect. I think if they were to take that feature effect and make it its own plugin, and you get that separate plugin along with the purchase of the suite, or you can just buy the separate plugin on its own if you don't want the archetype, and you can use that for whatever you want. I think that is a major dropped ball from Neural DSP. I think more companies need to do exactly what Mixwave is doing here by providing the multi, providing everything separately. I'm not just kind of focusing on Neural DSP. There's more than a few companies that really should do this. I think they'd make more money. All right. Try Guerilla, black metal from Portugal. Today, I think it's going to be Doomy, my friend, but I'm going to put that on my list. So I hope you guys are having a great day. The missus is doing school stuff. We played an early round of disc golf today, trying to master this course that we actually learned to play on. But the thing is that every year it changes every year because things grow over and everything else. And right now this old course is quite grown over, so you have to really thread needles. And her and I went out to practice today because it's worked us over a couple times. All right, so we've got Benson Mixed Wave Benson Chimera Suite collection. We also have, if you guys would like to hear it, we've done it before here. This is the Line 6 Doom Suite, which is, I believe, if you're a Doom guitarist out there and you want just one plugin, you don't have to, I'm going to be on this preachy thing again, where if you're a Doom player out there, buy just this one plugin, just this one. You don't have to mess around with damn nothing. Just load it up and use it to record all your ideas. It's got 4 amps. It's got a bunch of cabs. It's got a bunch of pedals. Everything sounds great inside it, and you'll be able to record and do your thing very with almost no one knowing that you're doing it. Record demos, rehearse things, learn covers, learn other people's songs without waking your neighbors up, without waking your kids up, without needing to go downstairs or even fire up. Man, it's just such a pain in the ass if you're wanting to, every time you want to write riffs, you got to fire up a whole big tube rig. I know, I remember it well. And for many years before the Line 6 Pod 2.0 came out, I was stuck with writing with analog stuff. And it was quite irritating because I remember living in I've always lived since I was 17. I've lived with roommates, and for many years I lived with like band houses, and you've got roommates that are sleeping all different shifts, and everybody's trying to practice, and everyone's trying to, it's pretty crazy. So I'm going to tune it up to here today, and hopefully we get this thing sounding as good as it was the other day. Pedro, in your country, in Portugal, do they have anything like local? What is the local marketplace like? Is it just Facebook, or what is the local marketplace? Do they have obviously the Craigslist, Kijiji? Like, what do they have there? And that's what you want right there. You notice my DI tone? You notice it's kind of thunky. It's lots of slack in the strings.'re not hammering. You're not getting too aggressive. Because if you get too aggressive with these strings, they're going to go out of tune, or you're going to get that, I don't even know what the technical term is, but when you get that slack and you hammer on looser strings, and you get that wow effect where it goes out of tune, it vibrates itself out of tune. That is very easy to do with really, I'm only using 56 to 13s right now in B, and that for me is super light. It's the gauge of string that when I very first started playing in B, it was about the heaviest stock set of strings that were available from D'Addario. And so I know I love the feel of them, but I've kind of graduated. Sounds like a very minimal amount, but I really do prefer a 59 or a 60 to 13, or even 14s is getting a little bit. But tell me what you guys think in the comments about the random string gauge discussion that we're having here. Not going to be an overly busy stream today, I would imagine, but we're going to make some horrible sounds and see what's up. Also, the third rig we have in mind, we have a free rig today that is going to revolve around the Audiority, where are you now? The L12X here. We're going to make pretty much a free Doom rig, and you guys will be able to hear that Audiority as well. I got to make sure we get the Big Sur in here. All right, Big Sur gets in here as well. Okay, so that'll be near the end. We're going to do that. So I really want to just test this guitar out, see how it sounds under fire with fuzz and slat and a lower tuning and everything else. Didn't replace the tuners yet. I haven't even bothered. But in this tuning, they seem to be holding up a little bit better for now. But when I go ahead and change the neck pickup to a chisel, I'm also going to upgrade these. All right, let's get to it. What do you guys want to start with? You guys want to start with Mixed Wave Benson? Let's do that. So this is pretty awesome right out of the blocks rather. This sounds pretty good. And this is the kind of tone you want to build fuzz on top of. That just past edge of breakup, something a little bit crunchy. I don't like to build fuzzy tones from a clean tone because I just don't feel they have. I need some of that bite. I love firing something with bite and teeth on it into the fuzz pedal. And if not even doing it through the amp, if I'm using a clean tone, I'll use a tube screamer out front of a fuzz pedal if the fuzz pedal doesn't have a tone control that I'm super excited about. Rudy! This sounds terrific. It's just the bridge pad or the neck. Okay, so I've got to back that off a bit, and it doesn't really fit this cavity very well. I'm not super excited how it sits in the guitar because the cavity is quite small. And it makes the pickup kind of sit on edge because of the giant casing. I'm not going to say giant, but the almost like EMG-like casing that's around the Railhammer pickups. That's better. All right. That sits better. Okay, we're going to get started here with some fuzzy stuff. So as mentioned, I want to add some teeth going in. So with this particular plugin, let's go to the screen. I'm going to kick in this nice boost for a little more snaz on that. And if you've never used any germanium-based effect, it just has this thing about it that I can't quite explain that I just love. Now let's get this fuzzed up. I'll do a hair metal stream. I was actually thinking about it earlier today. Shit you not. I shit you not. I was looking at one guitar that I have sort of deemed the hair metal Hesher. It's a little cross between, like, it's something you might see just the average 80s dude shredding. It looks a bit beat up and everything else. I'll tell you what, if I remember, remind me next Friday, and we'll do one next Saturday. And I'm going to see if Bryce Van Hoosen will join us. No, I don't like that neck pickup at all. So I'm going to see if maybe the chisel, I can get the chisel, or I can find something else. Recommend me a really good neck pickup for Doom. And when I say neck pickup, I don't want this to necessarily be able to do clean or anything. I want something that has snot and edge to it. I'm thinking, I remember the chisel being really sick in the neck position, so I may just have to do that. Then Railhammer chisel has a really nice edge on it, and I like that idea. This, I just feel it's too bloated. It's just too much. I don't really like it. I'm not really digging it at all. The bridge pickup in this guitar is one of my favorites ever made. It's the Bill Lawrence USA L500XL. If I could buy them, I would buy them, but I can't find them. That's the problem, is that they have become quite difficult to get your hands on. Even the wild versions are tough to get your mitts on. They're not easy. It used to be you could go, even 5 years ago, you could go on reverb.com and just go, buy it now, $79. $79. They were $65 US, actually. $65, $70 US. And they were so cheap, and it is just such an amazing pickup. Excuse me. Incredible pickup. So we're going to stick with that today. So I'm going to crank up this germanium boost here some more. Much better. It would have to be a real fucking hot PAF. I just pulled a Gibson Classic 57 out of here. It really just never sat with me. It didn't have enough oomph. I'm going to need something like PAFs are typically in the ballpark of like 9K resistance. Some even less ballpark. Am I right? Around 9K. And some of them, I just need something hotter for the neck. And the anvil is just not really I thought I would just give it a shot. Why not? I had it there. I was looking for something. I'm going to have to find something else. Don't know what I'm going to use for it just yet, but we'll find something. What I tried in the Destroyer was actually the Hyper Vintage Bridge in the neck position. I think if they're like, nah, we can't send you a chisel, I think I'm just going to put that in there, no problem. And I think we'll try that next. It's going to need a tiny bit of routing. That had a bit of a routing issue. I don't know exactly. These routes are made for open coils. And they very much did not make them for anything larger than an open coil. Classic guitar made in China, though. That's one thing. If there's any corners to cut that they think somebody might not notice, that is one of the things. Like you'll find that like the routes sometimes guitars made, import guitars, you'll find the routes are just so small. So this is just the reason this is relevant is if you're ever thinking about doing a pickup swap and you're using something that came with and was designed and routed for open coil humbuckers, and by open coil I mean just do I have one sitting there? I can't believe I don't have a pickup sitting nearby. Your average open coil, you know what that means? It's got just like the bobbins on top, and then it's got the open, you can see the windings on the side of the pickup. If it's meant for that and routed for that originally, there might actually might not be enough room for something like an EMG or a Fishman or something with like a housing on it, like a rail hammer. So yeah, just beware when you are doing a pickup. We can talk about guitar modification a little bit during this stream as well. As I know, pickups can be a big thing with doomers, or sometimes they're not. Sometimes the more stock and shitty the pickup, they like it. I don't know why, but some of them they just was it Electric Wizard? There were people that they were actually like Electric Wizard just used the stock Epiphone pickups or something like that, and that became a thing where people were actually looking for those pickups. just like looking to buy them off eBay and stuff for like $12. It was like, oh man, you can get the tone of Electric Wizard for $12. You're like, no, it's not good though. Those pickups are not good. But nonetheless, we'll talk about guitar modification a little bit. And because I have been in that scenario, and if on more than one occasion where I bought a set of pickups, and the one cost me a lot of money because it was before I was doing a lot of my own installs. And I got a set of EMGs that were going to go into an Agile, and it was no bueno. And the guy's like, man, I don't have a router. I can't put these in for you. I'm like, fuck, that sucks. He's like, well, I might be able to borrow a router. He's like, but I don't know, I'm no guarantees. He ended up having to go borrow one and charge me a bunch of extra money for having to go borrow a router. What kind of tech doesn't have a rotary tool? I don't know. But at the time, I didn't ask questions. I just wanted the pickups Anyways, so yeah, be ready to just get yourself a rotary tool, but also learn how to use it, because you can make a damn mess and make some big mistakes with a sanding wheel on a rotary tool. I've done it. I know. Yes, I had that issue with the headless guitar I bought with the pickup spacing. Why'd you send it back? I have the Gojira Dudes PAF thing in my SG, and it sounds fucking awesome. For fuzz, though, didn't you say you hated fuzz? Most don't do Sky. How's it going in? Johnny Cecil, are you still around? Yo, dude. You still there? Who's in the chat still? Come on, chat at me, folks. It's Saturday, and we've had a good day here today. I've got a pot of chili cooking on the stove right now. It smells amazing in this house. Have you ever guys ever, come on, of course you have. Making soup or a stew or something, and you just get to smell it around the house all day. Unless it's cabbage rolls, because then your house smells like cabbage all day. We have this person in our fourplex that likes to cook cabbage rolls, and we can smell it in our place, and it's just like, ugh. Cooking cabbage just does not smell good to me. So this is based on, let's go find out how much this amp actually is. If you were to go and buy one, 30 watts. $400? Is that really? $400. Interesting. And how much are the pedals? How much are the preamps? Guitar pedals. Benson, the amp. Preamp pedal. This thing, $249. Okay, still, even just the price. So you buy this whole collection in plug-in form, and I've been told by a few people that are in the know. There's a dude called Fuzz Drones, and a few other people that are just like, I think it was Fuzz Drones. Can't remember who exactly. There's a few people that I remember saying when this came out, saying just like, this is close. Like, these are one-to-one replicas, folks. So they have a lot of other pedals that would have been cool to see in here. Where's the, oh man, the Benson. Does this have a delay? It does not. So no delay in here. It would have been cool if they do a little update with like the Benson delay. The Benson Deep Sea Diver Fuzz Echo. Interesting. All that whole thing's your name, is it? The Florist, out of stock. That's one thing to me that when I see this right here, and I see out of stock, one thing to me when I've dealt with analog companies, and in the midst of right now, I'm dealing with 3 or 4 analog companies for plugins with developers, and one thing I always ask them if they'd like to do is include a pedal that is now out of stock, out of print, no longer get it, rare. The only way you're finding it is like on Reverb or something for $700 or $800 or $1,000 or something like that. Do you want to include something that is now out of print or that you will not be making again? And oftentimes, sometimes they'll say that would be awesome because they know that people are going to be driven to buy that just to see if it's any good. And, you know, some of them also and they would say, no, you know, what's done is done. What's dead is dead. I'm not bringing it back to life for, you know, like a parlor trick. I'm not going to do that. And then some of them will also include designs that have not been built yet. Something I've also seen that done. Very, very cool. Anyhow, shout at me, folks. If you're brand new and you have not spoken around these parts, that's all the more reason sometimes if you're brand new around here, we'll give you stuff. Germanium Fuzz, how much are you? $300. So The plugin, I think, is roughly 150, I think $150 or something like that. And then still, like, that's so much radness. You get 4 mics, as typically they did tend to give you. They've 4 different mics. And they give you, well, access to 4 mics anyways. 1 and 4 right now? Why isn't... I see 1 and 4 on Ribbon 20. They love their tube. Sorry, they love their... They've got a tube 251. I'm going to I like my 57. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to go with 421. We're going to change things up a little bit. Although I will say that these cabinet sections, and we've talked about this before, so much. In this particular situation, they give you 4 different cabinet options. They give you the Benson Weber top, Benson Weber bottom. They also give you the Benson G12, H3, etc., top and bottom, which is, again, a ton of IRs that we've gone over how many IRs they probably had to shoot for this plugin, which is a lot, like a ton. So I'm just pretty exciting. These cabinet sections always also feature a ton of mics, like 20 mics, I think, last time we counted these. Tons of mics. So if there's a mic you like and it's not in here, I'd be very shocked. I'd be very shocked if you couldn't find 2 or 3 or 4 mics that you are a very super huge fan of in this selection. So let's see what we've got here. So far, so good here, boys. Wowzers. What happens if I shut the amp off and use the preamp instead? I can't play that song anymore, but that song rips. I have to look that song, how to play that song again before we do another demo on this type of stuff. No one knows. I think I have the first chord right. You've got an ego to... I'm just kidding. I watched, man, we watched a little clip of Queens of the Stone Age the other night. It was like maybe even yesterday. And they were playing just like a live set. And I got to tell you, holy fuck, those guys are tight. Jeebus, they were tight. So good. Really good. Not in their prime anymore. Very, very, very super far from their prime. Like, in my opinion, just my opinion, I'm just I'm some random ass loser sitting in my apartment. So, I mean, who am I to judge anybody? But still, my opinion is the prime of that band ended the second that Josh, I don't know, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Homie? I don't know. The second that dude, I want to make up with you. Second he wrote that, the band's, anything that the band's prime was in the rear view. That song sucks. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. Anyways, let's keep going. This is the Mixed Wave Chimera. We'll take a break from the Mixed Wave Chimera. We'll get into the Line 6. Dude! This thing's awesome, no matter how you slice it. This is super, super underrated plugin that I believe is just awesome. It's super fun to use. Very, very fun Doom plugins. Fuzz pedals, rather. Fun Doom amps-ish amps. You have the Moon. I mean, it doesn't take a Rocket Appliances repairman to figure out what amp this is. This is a Sun Model T. The Mandarin Rocker. Again, I don't need no degree to figure out that this is an orange. There's literally an orange right there. Why it's not orange, whatever. Some orange amps are black. Line 6 Doom, which in my opinion is not the doomiest amp, but it's pretty rad. And if the mail order twin, which I think we figured out, was it a silver tone? Is that what this shit is? It's a Zeller's amp, right? Or like what is the Kmart amp or something? Anyways, let's get into it. So here's the Sun Model T. And here's the cab section. And I don't want this, so I can go in. They give you a pretty nice selection of mics. I'm going to just do my usual thing. And it's pretty sick, actually, if it's showing you guys, like, it shows you as soon as you click on the mic, it actually blacks out, or it takes the grill cloth off for you so you can actually figure it out, which is pretty awesome. I actually really like that effect quite some. I think it's pretty great. And we don't need a room verb for this, so I will be turning you off, sir. And we'll get to it. I want to just setting up this tone for a good fuzz, a little bit of fuzz. When I say a little bit of fuzz, I mean kind of a lot of fuzz. That's right, it was a little quiet last time. Why are we frozen right now? Oh boy. That's one thing I will say about these plugins from Line 6 is they do squirrely things sometimes. All right. Sounds pretty good so far. That's a pretty solid tone to throw some fuzz at. How about you guys? What do you think? This is the only Boss Hyper Fuzz you will find anywhere, in any plugin, anywhere but here, and sorry, Helix Native. By the way, if you want to go and just skip right by this, if you don't really care about like the analog look and you just want lots of gear, just get Helix Native. You'll be shocked as to how many plugins that might replace for you. Although, is Helix Native now going to be the Stadium Native? I'm not really sure how that's going to work. What's the story with that? There's bound to be a huge upgrade coming with the release of Line 6 Stadium. So maybe hang back, or maybe just buy Helix Native now while maybe it'll get really cheap and they'll give you a cross-crate bundle or something. I don't know. Either way, if you want a Hyperfuzz, the only way you're going to get one in any plugin at all is either with NAMM. There's some really great ones with NAMM that you can actually use a NAMM player right out in front of random plugins as just for pedals if you'd like to. We can show you that moving out of here. I haven't seen a comment in a while. You guys are bored, and that's my fault. That's okay, though. Come on, folks. Jazz it up with me here. You guys know what song that is? Yeah, that is actually really a nice sounding hyper fuzz. It's so good. Nice, Pedro. Wow, that sounds terrific. And there's 3 great sounding pedals that you can use for different tones. It's not all hyper fuzz either. Here's the bighorn, which is more of a, like, in my opinion, more of a stoner rock vibe. And then this fuzz right here, which we figured out what it was based on last time, but I can't for the life of me remember what the fuck we said it was. That absolutely rips. It's fun, man. Yeah, it really is Doom in a box. Pedro said, this is all the Doom you need. If you're a player out there, no one's saying that you have to switch to plugins or digital modelers for your your Doom set. No one's gonna make fun of you. If you're still out there and you're like dead set on this analog versus digital lifestyle, you are way behind the times, my friend. Get out of the dark ages. Get out of the Stone Age. I'm telling you right now, get out of the Stone Age. It's analog plus digital now. It's how to use both to get what you need to get done as a musician in a busy world, in a world where houses, having your own house and having your own jam space, like it's just not what it used to be anymore. I believe every creator, every artist, every guitar player, every drummer, I feel like every drummer out there that can possibly have an E-kit. I don't care if you're a Doom drummer or a classic rock, whatever. Having like these digital options to help you stay creative, help you stay in practice, help you through all kinds of different things. I'm telling you right now, it's going to help you out. Cat hair. See it. Saw you coming for me. Like 3-Eye Atlas. We learned more about it yesterday. Wow, that's pretty fun. Then there's the phase shifter out front too, if you want to do some fun things. Literally the start of that Empress Rising song. Beautiful. So, folks, this is, how much is it right now? It's not much. If you're in the chat, drop me a hello. Drop me a hi. Let me know you're chilling with us, hanging out. It's Saturday, and after this, I believe that the missus and I are going to finally play some video games. We were duped last night. Duped, I tell you! Duped! We got duped yesterday. I heard a rumor that Joe Hendry was going to be on SmackDown last night and was going to be fighting LA Knight, wrestling LA Knight in the John Cena tournament. And we watched, and it was not Joe Hendry that came out, the question mark. It was not. And it was rather, man, where's Kyle Hunter when you need him? Kyle! Where's Kyle? This amp sounds awesome, by the way. And again, this is you can use it in bright, normal, or jump. It's pretty nasty without any pedal there. There's no pedal on right now. What's going on, Luke Bach? We went through this, didn't we? And I can't remember what you said. Lukabach. Is that Polish? Ukrainian? Polish? Anyways. How are you guys doing? Tell me in the chat. Holler at me. I know that the thing is, like, I was talking to someone. I was like, man, I was like, the live viewers, the live viewers are down a bit. And they're like, well, you should like do more popular this or that. I was like, yeah, but I'm not. I could come out here and do 9 out of 10 streams with just like nothing but neural DSP and STL tones, and probably more people would come poking in, but it would be boring, man. It'd be boring. We like to showcase everything here. Everything on the market that sounds good, it will be here. If it doesn't sound good, it will not be here. That's the simple trade-off with everything. How are you guys doing? Luke Bach. You can get really any Doom sound you want, just like he said below there. Like, it's seriously, you've got the hyper fuzz for the hyper fuzz bands like Monolord, or you've got, of course, Electric Wizard. You've got the big horn, which is going to give you something closer to, something a bit closer to, like, I guess maybe a big muff. And then this one here, again, I can't remember what it was, but this thing is like the absolute. This thing is super well modeled, and it's versatile. So many different things you can do with this. So many different things you can do with this. My friend, you're going to be very happy. You know that they are developing that platform right now, right? I should say, when I say they, I mean we. As I do currently, I am currently employed, as I tend to tell everybody. I am employed by Aurora DSP. We got some cool stuff coming up. Some cool stuff indeed. And I'm very excited about all of it. I'm very excited about everything we have coming up. Awful. That should not be played with fuzz. All right, folks. We're wheeling up to about the hour point. We're going to be hanging out here for a bit longer. I'm going to have a break in a couple of minutes here. And then when I come back, we're going to build stuff with Audiority plugins. I'll show you guys a couple of the plugins we have in store for the second half here. Not Audiority, but it is free. And this is the free fuzz. And it's an incredible free fuzz from Fuse Audio Labs known as the Big Sur. Big Sur here is awesome. This thing crushes. And I'm going to show you guys how you guys out there can create a doom tone that is absolutely savage, complete savagery for this many dollars and this many cents. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in the second half as well. We also have the Big Goat. We have the Blue Face. We have the Doomagorgon. The Green Reaper. The Clerton Grindstein. This thing is wicked too. Wicked for bass and guitar, actually. But this thing, I'll show you guys how this can really come in handy for Doom. If you're using, especially if you were to blend it with something like, for example, the Mixed Wave Benson Chimera. If you were to do, most Doom albums, I don't think use a quad tracking scenario. They use mostly, I think it's just dual tracked rhythm. But what I might consider doing if I was maybe this, and I think I will do it now that I've said it, I'll record a Doom track and I'm going to try quad track scenario. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, I'm going to do 2 tracks with the Benson Chimera. And then, because these are more, it's more organic. It's a little bit, it's got that little bit more of that vintage sound to it. It's a little bit more simplified. A little bit less, that shrill fuzz. It's not maybe, it's a wall of fuzz. But if I was to blend it on with, say, 60-40 volume-wise as well, blend the 2 tracks of something like the Clerton Grindstein in here, that would be probably outstanding. So we're going to see what that's all about when we come back. And the free amp that I'm going to show you guys how to build a nice Doom tone with is the Audiority L12X. This thing is awesome. Still, in my opinion, the best overall and fully versatile free amp sim on the market today. This thing can and will do anything for you. It's also a perfect platform for any pedal plugin that you want. Perfect platform to test your various IRs. And something that I use every single solitary time I get something new, whether it's a pickup or a guitar or a pedal plugin or IRs. This has been with me for a very long time, and I use this to test everything because I know exactly what this is giving me, and it's a very transparent sounding because it's solid state, and it's just basically it's a preamp you throw, and it just crushes. And you guys will see when I come back how awesome this thing really sounds. Is that studio filter knob for headphones on the bottom right to calibrate headphone inconsistencies? What do you mean? Which one, in the Mixed Wave Benson? I'm not sure which one are you looking at? Bottom right of what? Which plugin are you talking about? Let me know. And we can get to that. By the way, when the entire time I was using the Benson Chimera, I was using just literally on the lowest oversampling. So there's several levels you can go up from here and make it sound way better. In the Serbies, that's something you'll have to ask. You'll have to ask Merrick. Ask Merrick or Daniel. Do you know the guys? I was just wondering if you know them, like you could just ask them direct. But if not, then I will ask them. Is the studio filter knob for headphones on the bottom right of the plugin to calibrate headphone inconsistencies? I will ask them. I will text them as soon as I go on my break here. I will text them exactly that. Cool. Anyways, that whole platform, the Aurora DSP drive-thru is being developed right now, and I cannot wait to bring it to you. I am working with a couple of scenario. I'm working with a couple of different artists and companies that may or may not have purchasable expansions and stuff for that platform. We think it's going to be amazing over time. We really think it's going to be just I'm not going to say a game changer, because there are a lot of plugins similar to what we're doing. Like, there's a lot of platforms out there, so it's not a game changer, but it is an amazing, maybe now I believe a fresh look, and it's got some very fresh features as well for a platform plugin that you guys are going to be able to check out in the next, probably the next couple of months, I think. So more like an EQ that simulates studio environment to my ears. That's probably more like what they might give you. I don't even have it installed right now. Otherwise, I would fire it up. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to take a quick 2 or 3 minute break. I'm going to come right back with you guys. Excited to do so. Let's get rid of the Benson Chimera here. Bye-bye. And let's get it again. This right here, last time we looked, I think it was like $40 on sale. If it could be 50 or 60. I think the most I've seen it for is like full price was like $80. But this thing is wicked. Find this plugin and purchase it. If you're a doomer and you're out there and you want a simple and easy, no problem solution to just, crank up some fuzz, all you need to do is get yourself a laptop that's got some decent steam behind it, not a Chromebook, not an old MacBook from 10 years ago, but get yourself a laptop of some kind. Get yourself a single input interface. There are 5 million of them. There's the iRig and there's everything else. There's a bunch of them at this point. Find yourself a good just single input interface that you can plug right on into the laptop. Fire this plugin up, grab a set of headphones, and you're done. Get yourself a DAW as well so you can record your ideas. I suggest Reaper for free, or there are a bunch of them out there that you can get for, a good price as well. But Reaper is free to start with, although I always suggest getting yourself the personal use license because it's worth it. Anyhow, this one we'll get rid of as well, and I won't stop going over this one every time Fuzzy and Doom things come up. I'm really excited to be able to showcase this one. I love it. NAMM Universal also has some dirty Doom tones available in the toolkit, but although the presets don't work for you guys just yet, we are working on this, though. We are working on this plugin, and there will be a V2 for it out sometime very soon. Folks, thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe as always, and I will be back 2 or 3 minutes. We'll be back with this guy right here. I'm really liking the way this guitar is playing with these strings on it. It plays different. It sounds different. It feels different. It feels great, actually. It has me tempted to play some chugs with it, which this pickup can also do. So let's see what happens when we get back. Cheers, everybody. Oh! How's it going, everybody? This is a great song. That's why I put it on before. This tone is amazing. Okay. Now where's my pick? One of my tiny pockets is holding it, isn't it? It is. Fantastic. Amu2 will crush it. Man, it will definitely crush things. Okay, seriously. All right. We're going to go back to our regular playlist for a bit, because I feel like it. If you guys haven't heard Wheeler Walker Jr. yet, brother, if you want some laughs, you'll get some. All right, so let's make some free doom tones, or slash sort of free doom tones. We are going to just, I'm going to throw this up right here, pal. Okay, it says it's got its own built-in IR. That'll work just fine for now. Okay, now you're going to just set it up like so. Okay, so we're cooking so far. Now here's the Big Sur added. That's free. Get that right now from Fuse Audio Labs for $0.00. It's awesome. Or you can get the whole virtual pedal bundle for a steal of a deal. I saw it on sale at one point for like $9.99 or something like that. Go and check out Fuse Audio Labs, and especially the new stuff from Fuse Audio Labs. Typically in the past, here's one cool thing about Fuse that I'm going to note. In the past, most of, in fact, pretty much all of what Fuse Audio Labs would do was based on very, very old analog circuits, analog gear, very old stuff from like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then pretty much the cutoff at the 70s. And Ray over there has made so many amazing plugins based on stuff from that time frame that he started to kind of run out of things in a sense. So what he started doing is creating some more modern, but yet bringing vintage aspects into things as well. And the Ocelot series. So check out the Ocelot series, and there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up from Fuse Audio Labs now that Ray has kind of opened himself a little bit more to some more modern styles of things. He's also working on a classic amp right now, and also he's got a fantastic bassman that is just out of this world good. It might look a little old school. It's very simplistic, although I do believe he may be considering a move to a sweet style for that, and then some other sweet stuff. Don't know just yet. But anyhow, check out Fuse Audio Labs. Big Sur will be back. But what I want to go over right now is the Doomagorgon. The Doomagorgon here is a savage monster, and it's got a little bit of HM2, a little bit of hyper fuzzness, sorta, kinda. And we're gonna go over it today and just kind of show you guys a few different things about it. So if I want to go to the one side over here, you notice, and all the way over here sounds like this. So if you blend those, you can make a mess. Though that's the thing about this pedal is that, yeah, if you try to get too crazy with the trebles, and remember these are stacked and blended as opposed to being on their own and independent. So you want to be careful with how much top end you're using. We're going to just kind of just be a little bit dainty with this, and we're going to blend things nicely. My idea actually was to add the filth mod from the HM2 that he released called the heavy pedal. This is the filth mod. Beefy. Absolutely beefy. Let me turn that off. And then turn the rat mod on. Can't remember how to play that song. Sorry. My plugin? You mean the dozer drive from Fuse? Yeah, we could do that too. But I was mostly, I don't like to focus on my stuff, really. I mean, it seems just like shameless self-advertising, but Pedro is right, and Pedro did request, so if Pedro would like to see it, what happened there? And we're hopefully gonna do a little bit of like a refurbished remaster of this pedal. It's gonna get a new UI. Likely, it's gonna get a new UI. And yeah, so this is dozer drive. The left side is a fuzz face. On the right side is a tube screamer. I believe it's TS7 on the right. And you can use it as a screamer, as a fuzz independently, or you can blend them. And you can blend them in 3 different ways. You can use it in parallel mode where you use the mix knob here. Or in my preferred way, you on the right side, screamer fuzz. That means the screamer is before the fuzz, rather than the way it looks, fuzz before screamer. You actually reverse the order. And then what that does is, in my opinion, that's the best way to run it, because I love some sort of source out front of a fuzz face to create a nice edge to the tone, and then punch those teeth right into that big sausagey wave, and you have magic. You have all of a sudden you have this sausagey fuzzness, and then you have your top end too. Tony Iommi was a master of that. Many other Doom players do it with great success. I think it was a TS7. It's an older tube screamer. Either way, I wasn't clear. Ray is such a genius that I came up with this idea. When I came up with this idea, I brought it to Ray, and Ray was just like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that sounds rad." And I built it, and Ray built it, and we just had such a fun time working on it. And Lewin Albani did the UI here. I believe the rebuffed version is going to be slightly different. I would think we kind of want to make it look more like a bulldozer in colors. There might be more yellow and black and things of that sort. I'm not 100% sure just yet, but we're going to change it. The MSIM Universe logo will go on to the right, hopefully with a link to our channel. And yeah, anyhow, so You can do stuff that's really, really just easy going, like I call the Ola drive. Let's call it Ola style. This is just a tube screamer. Hold on, let me get this up a little bit more. Sorry, I had to adjust there. So that's like the Ola zero drive, all level, all tone. So, and then what I call the dozer effect is when you run that tube screamer into a fuzz, a bit of light fuzz, and the thing it can do is you can do something like this. Keep in mind, this is a very bright pickup. I'm here. Less for metal and more for like big, giant, modern hard rock. It's actually a technique that's used a lot more than you might think. Blending some fuzz in with the tube screamers and the modern distortion, and blending a bit of fuzz in, whether it be on 2 tracks or lightly in the tone in a mix somehow, into the chain rather. So, and you'll see that quite often. And this is kind of what I would see, how I would build that in a recording if I was to build it in a recording myself. But if I turn the fuzz off, and then you'll be able to hear how much fuzz I'm actually using over here. Then I turn the teeth on. It sounds massive. So this pedal's available right now. You can go grab it. I actually don't make any profit on this pedal whatsoever. Not one single royalty. Why? Because I refused it. I said, Ray, I want this to be as affordable as possible, always. And I want Ray, I came up with the idea, so what? But Ray made it a reality. Ray put in the hard work. So anything, guys, go buy this pedal. Show Ray that we love it, and soon we can get what the idea here is going to be, that we're going to, as mentioned, change the color, hopefully put the new logo in, hopefully put a link in. I don't know if Ray likes that type thing or not, but if he doesn't, that's fine as well. And then we're also going to put in a bass mode. I'm going to let Ray figure out what that means, a bass mode. So now here's where you can make it angry. You might be thinking, I thought we were making big, giant, fuzzy, sludgy noises. And we were, and we are. So if you notice, these are all the presets that come along with it. And if I want, I could go to an extra big ass taco, for example. You can still hear those teeth grinding into that fuzz. And it's telling you, like, hey, like, it's just with, like, listen to the fuzz by itself. Actually, this pickup is just so much top end, and that sounds pretty rad. And this is obvious. This is the, as it shows as far as like the signal chain. You'll notice it's fuzz screamer. It's a bit of a different story now. The sausage is hitting. Now the sausage wave is hitting into the teeth of that pedal, and it's sort of shrinking it down and filtering it instead of having the teeth that are kind of going into the sausagey wave fuzz instead. Wow, one person. We lost everybody. Hold on, folks. One person left in the stream. Holy shit. Pedro, we killed it. Just my brief stint with the dozer drive killed it. It done killed it. Anyways, this was the dozer drive. Check out, please do check out Fuse Audio Labs. Their stuff is rad. Now, getting on to what we got. Rafita Pepita. You're here. I don't know what happened, man. We had like 6 people and then went down and I looked again. It was 1. No idea what happened. Either way, this isn't going to be like the craziest stream. I do this to add more content to our library for people that are searching. That's why I do streams like this. Not necessarily for the amount of people that are going to tune in, but we more so make these streams for people that are going to watch it later and that are looking to add plugins to their repertoire. And I've had more than a few people already thank me and say, I didn't know this stuff was this easy. I didn't really know it, I didn't know my way around it. Your beginner video helped me this, and then this helped me that. And I really appreciate all those kind vibes. So really, it doesn't matter to me if there's 1 person here or 10, or we've had as many as 25 or 20, 28 or 29 people. Wow. But at the same time, I realize that not a lot of people are going to tune in to watch this. And it's probably only going to be 50 or 60 or maybe 100 people that watch in the future. But if even 40 of those people say, shit, yeah, this is awesome, I'm gonna upgrade my rig, or I'm gonna create this, I'm gonna go buy a laptop and do exactly what this guy said and get myself a little rig going. And if that helps even of those 40 people that try it, if even it helps even 20 of those people stay creative and change their workflow in a positive way, then this stream was worth my 2 hours. That's how I view it. So thank you for the 5 people that are joining us this evening. I appreciate you, but for a stream like this, I'm just not willing to go down the sellout road and just constantly do plugin, just to do content on whatever's the latest and greatest that everybody else is using. We're going to do those too, but we're just not going to be spammed with the same thing. Tell me what you guys are up to on your Saturday night. After this, I believe we're going to eat chili and play some video games, finally. I'm excited about it. And that is just the L12X barking back at us here. This sounds pretty good. This is on its own, no pedals. No pedals, no IRs, nothing helping it. This is just the L12X by itself. Now, if I'm going to show you guys what it can do as far as the best sound I can probably get out of it without a pedal of any kind or an IR. That sounds pretty damn good for free. $0, 0 cents. Go and get yourself the Audiority L12X right now. You go and download it, and you go right into here, and you can go and just visit Audiority website. Bam. Black Friday up to 70% off. Luca, by the way, is one of the 2 human beings at Polychrome DSP. So this is his other company, his original company, I should say, that's been around for many years. And here's some of the rad stuff he's got. So you could buy the Grindsteiner right now for $50. And we're going to show you guys that in about 2 seconds. The Doomy that I was showing you guys earlier, $24. Look at all these rad pedals. And you can go to Freeware as well. Company Shop. Go to Shop and I can click on. Is there a space for just free plugins? And there's all the stuff. Everything's on sale. 50% off, 60% off. I see over here. You can get the Big Goat for $8. $8. You can get all the pedals for $29 right now. That is I believe several one-to-one replica level pedals. The DS1. This is something we're going to be talking more about is Black Friday sales. Every time a developer comes up, we're going to want to go to their website and check out some of the sales, because that's one thing we like to do here is help you guys save your money. Buy the best stuff possible for the lowest amount of money. This used to be $100. Now it's $29. These are all really damn close to one-to-one replicas. You get the industry best I will put money on that. I will put this guitar on that. There is no HM2. There is no Boss HM2 plug-in replica out there that's anywhere even close. Not even close. I don't care how good the one that you've tried is, this one will crush it. Like a strong man crushing a beer can, or as I like to say it, the ocean crushing the Titan sub. Bam! It's going to crush it just like that. I promise you, if you buy anything from Audiority, that it will surprise you as to how good it is. I don't even like the DS1. You want to know how much I hate the DS1? I really hate the DS1. How do I know that plugin's really good? Is because I hate it. I don't hate the plugin. I just love how authentic it is because it sounds so much like the DS1. It pushes all the same buttons and gets all the hairs on the back of my neck going the wrong way, just like the real pedal. So that's awesome that you can go check that out. If you want that Nirvana sound, etc., this stuff absolutely rips. So do check out their stuff. That's that easy. There's a bunch of free stuff in here as well. Here we go. Free plugins. This is our collaboration. We've always got it in the chain. Our collaboration with Audiority is The Sword. And this thing is super rad. Go and grab it. It is also free. You can get Dr. Phase for free, Dr. Drive for free, and yes, the L12X solid state amplifier is also free. Kick ass, Seabass. So we're just hanging out still for about another half hour. We're going to make some dirty sounds and see, maybe a half hour, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So this is 100% free and you can put whatever you want into it. Now, imagine blending something like the mixed wave Benson Chimera with this guy right here and using this to create your Doomy sounds. Maybe you're thinking, well, that's a bit different than what we were after. Now, keep in mind, you're never going to just go and create tones in solo and have all these amazing tones you're creating in solo as your quad track scenario. You're going to want to blend tones together and spend time blending them together. And when you're coming to stuff like creating fuzzy, sludgy, doomy grossness, one of the things that you're going to do is if you're going to quad track, you want two of those tracks to probably handle the lower end, the bottom, that bass, the foundation, just sort of like you would do with a parallel distorted bass. But you're not going to duplicate. You're going to play it. You're going to use it. You're going to use obviously a separate take. So in this case, imagine that wonderful, warm, fuzzy, vintage, full sounding mixed wave Benson paired with something that sounds more like this. So I'll go to the EQ and you have tons of different options here. I can do whatever I want here. This is where I would, if I quad tracked and I got the two tracks down, all the four takes are all down. I'd get that nice tone going with the mixed wave Benson Chimera on two tracks. And then on the other two tracks, I would use this pedal, this thing right here. And then I would start just kind of, as the mix is playing, I'm going to start adjusting things in this absolutely surgical EQ piece here. This was, of course, a collaboration with Clurton and Christian Cole Keller Studios. It's awesome. And you can get it right now, $50. I don't get a damn cent out of that. I'm just telling you, it's $50. Hey, this thing is awesome. And based on a real pedal that is quite expensive, and you're probably not going to go buy one of these, but if you really wanted the ultimate solution to having that really filthy, dirty HM2 sound and then being able to mix it as you can here on the Grindstein, as mentioned, there's the mix knob. Fucking knob! That is when mixed with that amazing, warm, and beautiful sounding sausagey vintage fuzz from that Mixed Wave Benson Chimera suite, mixed with 2 tracks of this absolute unit. This thing is coming in with just knives flying everywhere. This thing is coming in to take over the mix, but we're not going to let it, because in those 2 tracks, we're going to bring it down and we're going to blend it nicely. 2 of the tracks are going to be up where we want them volume-wise, and then we're going to take the 2 tracks with this guy on it right here, and we're going to blend them up until we have that we're satisfied with the amount of violence that this thing is creating. You want just enough to blend in rather than completely overtake, which is exactly what the HM2 does to any mix. So you blend it in nicely here, and then you can also blend it here, and you can also blend it when you're quad tracking as well. So that's pretty sick. Hey, no problem, Rafita Pepita. So, if you haven't checked this plugin out, please do. Yeah, that's kind of also, I'm probably gonna want to start dialing back some of the top end as well. So it's not slicing that hard, but more as instead working as part of that wall of fuzz, instead of sort of almost cutting apart the fuzz and cutting apart the wall being a big part of it. So let's see if we can dial back that top end. And the other thing I love using this plugin is for bass. And I'll tell you how I use it for bass is I will set up a track of bass that is, I will do the parallel distortion way, where you're duplicating as opposed to you're not playing 2 tracks of bass. You're going to duplicate it. You do not do that with guitars, please. But you're going to duplicate your bass. You're going to put it on 2 tracks. 1 track, I usually will run an amp peg with an 8x10 of some sort, and I will run it with some fuzz on the bass and a bit of compression, so make sure everything is nice and full and compressed, and the low end is held down and then some. And then I will round off all the top end. And then I'll take the other track. The duplicate will have the grindstein here on it, and I will usually shut off the cab. Boop. It's gone. Shut off the cab. I will add my own IR loader. I will add in my own IR, a bass IR of some sort, usually like a 412 bass IR. And those do exist, and some of them are pretty rad. So I'll do that instead. And then I will run this thing I will find a surgical way to blend those 2 together. And by the way, I will also round off all the low end. And so I could just do this and show you guys how I do this, but honestly, I'm not the best with this sort of stuff. I'm just loosely explaining it. I'm sure you can figure it out. I'm not a genius over here. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Parallel distortion, or you can go to get a plugin that some use, the Neural DSP Parallax, which is sort of designed to do exactly what I just described. But in my opinion, that plugin is a bit sterile sounding, and I like adding a bit more attitude and a bit more uniqueness to the gain. I like the gain to be more of a guitar amp distortion instead of that kind of that dark glass sound, a bit different. So there are ways to do both. It really depends on what you want to accomplish. That was one thing I always felt. By the way, this is a complete squirrel brain offshoot, but if I could ask Doug from Neural DSP one question, It's like you can ask him one question, he will answer you. The one question I would ask Doug Castro at Neural DSP is why? Why did you not do more dark glass plugins when you owned both companies at the same time? There's one Dark Glass Ultra that was the very first plugin they ever put out that was before Fortin Nameless. The first plugin they did was their own Dark Glass Ultra plugin, and it's awesome. It still rips. Although I think they need to do the Dark Glass X. I don't know if they can or not, because now that they sold the company to Korg, I think they sold it to Korg, if I'm not mistaken. They sold it to somebody. So that kind of sucks, though. I would love to ask Doug and say, Doug, why didn't you do, like, it would be amazing. Imagine like a Dark Glass suite where like you got to choose from, like, man, they had like, how many pedals preamps do they have? They'll have 6 or 7 or 8 of those things. There could have been a plugin with like an anthology of those things. Man, I would have loved that, because it's just some of the best bass sounds ever. Maybe I'm not sure why. I have no idea why. I'd love to know why that never happened, or how close it was to happening. Anyways, that's the squirrel brain. So I'm going to try this. I'm actually going to try this theory. I'm going to do a Doom mix. I'm just going to plug it into a Doom mix I already have going, though, although most of them are just dual tracked. So I'll see what I can do about that. All right. More gore is probably the best design for the doomier sounds. Then you go into this guy right here, and you can add as much or as little of anything you'd like. Filthy. So filthy. Absolutely dirty, dirty, dirty. And so you can go grab this from, right now, I had no idea they were having a Black Friday sale, but every single solitary developer that we showcase over the next few weeks until Black Friday, I am going to be here. We're going to go to their website, and we're going to just see how much these plugins are. We should probably do that every time we showcase anything, is just go see what the current price is. But honestly, if you're curious enough, you're going to go look. And I had somebody the other day ask me, it's like, why don't you include the links for the developer of the stuff that you're in the streams that you're set, like, you know, that you're promoting, showcasing? I said, because for me, I think that anybody that really wants something real bad is just going to go look it up, is just going to Google it anyway. You know what I mean? Sure, it's nice to have that link there. But we don't use those, like, we don't, like, is MT, what are the links called? NPC links? P something links? I can't remember. The developers will give you like an affiliate link or at very least a tracking link. And I've deemed those ineffective many, many years ago. So we just don't use them. But if anybody that's watching a stream, yeah, they'll find it eventually. Anyhow, folks, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go eat some supa. And so you guys have seen it. There's a whole bunch of different filthy ways to make filthy sounds, whether it's the Blueface, the Big Goat, the Big Sewer here for free. And also, as mentioned, and NAMM Universal. Eventually, there'll be this right here. Check out this quick preset. And it sounds like this. And this is for Doomers. rumbling goodness. Pedro, I'm glad to hear, very glad to hear that you got some things sorted out there. Man, you've been through it lately. You've been through it, brother. But keep on plugging, because you know that people care, and you know that, you know what, hard times make people stronger. And I think they'll make you stronger in the long run, my friend. So a lot of love there. And please do take good care. Everyone, please do take care. I will be back on Tuesday. We're going to start trying something on Tuesday, by the way. It's going to be Telly Tuesdays. I've got a bunch of Telecasters that never get used. Ever. So we're going to start doing Telly Tuesdays. And just say, we're just going to, I'm not sure what we're going to do. It's just going to be Telly Tuesday. And that's it. And it'll be me here with a Telecaster shaped guitar of some design. And it'll be me, Telecasters, and plugins. And if you guys want to drop in, that'll be adding a stream per week, and also maybe satiating my need to play things that are not necessarily high gain and chugging, etc., etc. So gives me a chance to play more chicken picking, a little bit more of this, and play my Telecasters more, which I really need to do, because I've got several and they just sit there. They just sit there like damn lumps. So every Tuesday at about between 4 and 4:30 Eastern time, PM Eastern time, come and join me for Telly Tuesdays. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. They might be a lot of fun. They might just last 2 weeks. Who knows? But we'll see. See you guys on Tuesday. Cheers.
Well, babe, I'll see you later. Ain't